A 108-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle of the tee. Pete Sampras's return game is the most improved department of his whole game. In fact, he leads on the IBM ATP Tour. He's got the best return game in men's tennis. He's leading this week. He was leading last week in Indian Wells. 2 aces in a row. Beautiful. Great idea. Don't let Sampras hit. Don't let him play.
Easier said than done. Let's find out if he can continue to do that. 30-15 Courier. Courier holds on. This is 1 game all in the first set. This best of 3-set match. Now, Jim Courier has lost to Patrick Rafter, for example, at Indian Wells. That was just last week. Brad Gilbert beat him in Memphis. Here's some other people that he has lost to, notably Jaco Elting in Kuala Lumpur. He lost to Michael Pernfors in Montreal, and we were not sure at that stage whether he was enjoying tennis enough to give it everything. Remember, he had just played the Wimbledon final before that tournament. Jonathan Stark beat him in Tokyo, and Derek Rostagno last year in Philadelphia.
He definitely has played in the last year, maybe year and a half, much differently than he had played when he dominated men's tennis so well for 1.5 years. Those guys, all those guys on that list, a couple of years ago, he walks out on the court and says, "You got to deal with me." You know, he was the boss, and everyone reacted to his big shots. And he's got to get that back.
Lendl put it pretty well in that respect, because he always used to say, you know, I'd get free points just because I'm Ivan Lendl, the top player in the world. That doesn't happen anymore for Lendl.
That's what Courier has to do, in my opinion. He's got to strike. That first strike has got to be a good one on the returner serve, and his tactics today, we talked about this in the Open, the first strike return has to be a good one. If it's not, look at that, good shoulder turn, hasn't moved his feet too much because of the pace of the serve. You don't get time when it's coming at you 115 mile an hour, but he has to, that first strike shot. Then the other factor is that he's got to try, if he gets into the rallies, he has his best chance if he can keep Pete Sampras on the baseline, which means he's got to hit deep shots off the ground.
15-30.
Sampras has got to the point now where he likes to get into rallying exchanges. He's quite confident with his baseline game. But by his own admission, he says, hey, on a clay court surface, when you're into a lot of rallies, I'm not as good as maybe a Bruguera or a Courier yet.
2 in a row for Sampras. It's 30 all.
These two have played so many times. You're going to see a lot of serves like that out to the forehand, because Courier closes the face of the racket on that shot. Gets it out there. He has to hit that ball. He cannot block that one back. Sampras can, because his grip is not anywhere near as far around as Courier's.
Pete likes that wide serve in the deuce court. He likes the one up the middle in the ad court. He uses that against Courier a lot.
That's to his forehand, Courier's forehand. That's where they go most of the time.
2 games to 1, Sampras. A little trouble in that game, but he holds on serve. It's Courier to serve after this. Not many people in this stadium have their money against Pete Sampras here. 2-2. I'm not only talking for this match, I mean for the championship. 2-1, because he has dominated the sport so severely here in the last few months. Won Wimbledon. He holds all 3 Grand Slam titles, excepting the French. He won here last year. There's his record at the Lipton, 16-3, and he's trying to become the first man to do it twice in a row. As I said, not many bidding against that. Courier to serve into the sun. It's about 1:18 in the afternoon. It's not a good spot to throw the tennis ball up for the serve. 1-2.
15. Well, you got to say that Jim Courier's coming up pretty strong on the serve right from the start. That's ace number 3.
He knows he's got to serve well so he can at least pressure Pete's serve. Shift the pressure a little bit.
Sampras may be looking, Courier may be looking for an out call there, but I think the way the ball reacted.
That's Delana McKay. First date Pete ever had. She's still around. That kind of a guy, isn't he?
Yeah. One time from Austin, Texas, which was my old stomping ground, and now a Florida girl, as is Pete.
That last shot from Sampras, I think, hit the line and skidded. Kept very low.
15-30. Courier has got to look out here. This is second serve, 15-30, and
look where Sampras is.
Yeah, 1-2.
He's threatening. He's saying, "Hey, he could hit a big forehand." There, he did exactly what he did.
You see him looking up to the sun as well, Fred.
And the sun was a problem, and Sampras extracted that double fault.
So here are 2 break points, and I caution you to watch this carefully, because those early stages of the match are important. If Courier doesn't make his move now, an early break, and Sampras could run away with it. Courier knows that.
Oh, boy, 2 in a row. It's a pity because he knows so much how important it is for him to serve well against Pete, and he came out so nicely.
Well, that's also gone for a little bit. He's come up with some aces, Mary, but then 2 double faults in a row because of the fact that he realizes that Sampras is going to jump on that second serve. It gets you to go for a little bit too much on the second serve. Neither one of those second serves were into the net. They were both deep, so he was going for depth, and he went for a little too much.
Again, he's going for the Courier forehand. Courier is so used to servers, especially serve volleyers, attacking his backhand side. Sampras is not afraid of the Courier forehand. And by going to the forehand so much on the deuce and ad court, of course, it opens up the backhand side for Pete as well.
Just opens up the court for the volley, and then Courier, particularly with that 2-hander on the backhand side, he's got to come up with passing shots where he's got to really get to the ball to hit the ball with 2 hands.
Very low. Jim Courier's got like a double coaching situation. There is Brad Stein in the Nike cap. Next to him, Gavin Forbes. He is the agent of Jim Courier. Jose Higueras is the other coach that Courier has. He doesn't see him near as much as he does Brad Stein.
Got to cover a lot of ground, Courier. Even off that one, Sampras played the half volley. But Courier, to be comfortable with the passing shot, had to run a long way to make it.